In Hedda Gabler, there are different themes that can relate across cultures, such as advocating women's rights, and because Ibsen was an advocate of women's rights, his play really relates to the context of the time period going on. And so if you look at what he wrote and how he wrote it and how he has Hedda as this suffragist, you can see that this can kind of relate back to our culture. During the late 19th century, the American women's rights movement was having the first signs of starting, and there have been different things to show how it's been starting, like the Seneca Falls meeting, different things like that. And so if you look at the cultural context, they're very similar. But if you also look at the theme, which is advocating women's rights, then you can see how across cultures it'll be the same. A lot of what it had to do was how symbols help represent the theme, and one of the symbols that I thought would help represent the theme the most was pistols and death, and most of it had to do with when Hedda killed herself in the end. And because she kills herself, I think it shows why she's been doing what she's been doing, because throughout the whole play, Hedda's been this independent, I can do my own thing, I'm in charge of myself, and no one can really control what I do type of person. And so in the end, when she does end up killing herself, I think it shows that she really had no way out afterwards. And so there were different parts of the play where you can see that she is trying to be this independent woman free of oppression. And when in the end she talks with Brack and Brack finds out that she gave Loveborg the gun, she knows that something is going to happen, and so he is basically saying, I won't tell as long as you do what I say. And Hedda is kind of hesitant about this, and Brack is like, I won't abuse my position. But Hedda, she's not agreeing with the idea, and she says that not free at all, no, that's one thought I just can't stand, never. And you can tell by this that she really does not want to be under his control. This shows that even though she has been this independent woman throughout the whole play, and now that she's going to be taken over by some other force to oppress her and like prevent her from doing what she normally does, like the only way out now is to really just go ahead and kill herself. And so you can really see how this affects the theme of the play, because now that she's no longer an independent woman, she takes the last resort and she becomes independent in her own way. And this can be similar across different cultures, because during the American women's rights movement, a lot of women tried their best to do what they could to make sure that they had their own independence. And in the end, if they could not get what they wanted, or if they've tried, they would usually go to like till they died, because they cared so much about what they were doing, and they wanted to make sure they had this right that they felt like they deserved. And I think this can really be shown through Hedda, because she has really advocated women's rights throughout the whole play, and she's been trying to make sure that people are independent, that they're doing their own thing, that she can be independent because she doesn't have to depend on anyone. And that really relates to other like real world women suffragists who tried their hardest to make sure that everything is good for future generations and even for themselves, and they would do anything to make sure that they had it. So my essential question was, to what extent can we see a similarity in Norwegian American culture when focusing on the theme of this play? And I think it's very very, very important to see how that the American culture and Norwegian culture can really be similar based off of this play and how it was written in the context that it was written, because things like this are really similar across different cultures.